Hey guys, welcome to Nothing Geek TV, and look what I got today. It's Honor 4X smartphone pushed against Moto G second gen smartphone. Uh, First, we'll talk about the build and the design and the display, of course. So we have a 5.5 inch HD display on the Honor 4X, and a Moto G got a 5-inch HD display. Now, guys, by the touch and the look of the images, the display on the Moto G is much more vibrant than what I have on the Honor 4X. I mean, the touch feels really great, and the icons too on the Moto G look like they are just beneath the display without the gap in the display and the screen. This is evident if I try to show you by closing in both the screens. So overall, the display, I'll rate it better than what we have on Honor 4X. Now let me show you the width of both the phones. Clearly, Moto G is slightly thicker in the middle, and the thickness is pretty much similar at the edges. So on the top, both the phones got a secondary noise cancellation microphone and a 3.5 jack port. There's a power on off button and volume rocker button, and the Honor 4X got additional speakers on the bottom, which is a good addition so that the volume won't get subdued. On the other hand, the speakers of the Moto G are at the front, so that is also a good thing. Volume won't get subdued either. So, guys, the build of both the phones are plastic, but overall, Moto G feels more premium, and the display is better when it comes to when we compare it with Honor 4X. So things are fine with both the phone, but in terms of display and the build, I'll rate a Moto G higher than the Honor 4X. Uh, Moving on to the performance part, I ran into two benchmark on both these phones, and let me show you the score and the multi-touch on both the handsets. So the Honor 4X scored a score of 21,410 on Antutu benchmark, while the same benchmark gave this phone a score of 18,828. So what does it mean? I mean, as you can see, guys, both the phones are ranked at the bottom of the heap. But let me tell you, I played heavy games, moderate games, I multitasked. Both the phones handle multitasking pretty easily, but it is slightly better on Honor 4X since it's got 2 GB of RAM as compared to 1 GB RAM of the Moto G2. When it comes to gaming, things are not too different on both the phones. I can play light to moderate games easily on both these phones, but when it comes to heavy game like Asphalt 8 Airborne or Overkill 3, I need to turn the graphics setting to medium. Now let me show you quickly the OS which is running on both the phones. So I got the latest 5.0.2 Jelly Lollipop on Moto G2 as compared to 4.4.4 KitKat on the Honor 4X smartphone. 720p display, HD display. The RAM, as you can see, it's 1910, which is 2 GB of RAM on Honor 4X as compared to the 1 GB of RAM on the Moto G2. The system storage on the Moto G2 is much better. On the 16 GB device this is, and a user gets around 13 GB for his or her needs, while on the Honor 4X I get only 4 GB of storage space. It's a quad-core processor on both the phones, Qualcomm quad-core processor. Now let me show you the multi-touch 320 dpi display on both the phones. Now let's see the multi-touch on both the handsets. So it's a 5-point multi-touch on both the phones, which is a wonderful thing. Now moving on, 13 megapixel rear camera, 8 megapixel rear camera. I'll be showing you the images. Let us see the sensors which are supported by both these handsets. So I got direction, G sensor, acceleration, light, E compass, proximity, and gyro, linear acceleration, rotation vector. Almost all the sensors are supported by Moto G2. Now coming to the Honor 4X, direction, G sensor, acceleration sensor, light, E compass, gyro. So and linear rotation vector sensors also. So in sensor part, both these phones are head to head. As many sensors which are supported by the Moto G second gen are also supported by the Honor 4X. Now, so moving to the camera images now, friends. The Honor 4X got a 13 megapixel rear camera. The settings of on both the phones I have turned to auto, and the images I clicked in under the same light conditions. So let's see the image with the Honor 4X first. So the detailing is fine. However, as you can see, the cracks of the ball are not that clearly visible. The watermarks and the strokes on the bat are visible. I can't easily differentiate among the strings of the band which have been put on the toe. Let's see the image of the Moto G. So guys, as you can see, the cracks are visible in a better manner. The seam is also visible in a better manner. The strokes on the bat, these brown lines running down the watermarks, and I can also differentiate between the bands on the bat. So the 8 megapixel camera of the Moto G2 is providing me a better performance as compared to the 13 megapixel camera of the Honor 4X smartphone, guys. As you can clearly see, the image is a bit whitish on the Honor 4X, but it is complete natural. The right bright red cherry color and the seam and the cracks are pretty much uh, on display in Moto G2 in a better manner. Let me show you the zoomed in image, not the zoomed in, but a image taken off from close up of the cricket ball, which will show you the difference clearly. Guys, hopefully now you can see clearly the seam, the cracks, the detailing on the ball, the color of the ball are pretty much visible in a better manner on the Moto G second gen as compared to the Honor 4X smartphone. So guys, in terms of rear camera, the Moto G second generation is a better option than the Honor 4X smartphone. Moving on to the front facing camera, I got a 2 megapixel front facing camera on the Moto G2 and a 5 megapixel front facing camera on the Honor 4X. Let me zoom in, and the eye of the tiger and the detailing, the texture of the base on which it is sitting are clearly visible. Let's see what Moto G has to offer us. The texture is visible, but it's not that evident. The eye of the tiger ain't evident that much. So it's a difference of 1920. But then again, the camera on the Honor 4X is a slightly better front facing camera. It's slightly better than what I have on the Moto G2. But then again, guys, as you can see, the real life colors are much more evident and in better perspective on the Moto G2 as compared to the Honor 4X smartphone. Let's check another image. So this is the same cricket ball which has been clicked using the front facing camera. So guys, this image on a 4X perform better than the Moto G2. However, uh, the difference is not significant, but then on a 4X has slightly better front facing camera than the Moto G2 smartphone. Coming to the battery part, as you can see, the backplates on both the phones are removable. These are plastic backplates. The Honor 4X got a massive 3000 mAh battery and it occupies most of the space at the back. I got two SIM card slots and one micro SD card slot. And on the Moto G2, the battery compartment is sealed. I mean, I can remove the battery on either on a 4X or on the Moto G2, two SIM card slots on either side and one micro SD card slot. So guys, Moto G2 got a 2070 milliamp hour battery as compared to the 3000 mAh battery of the Honor 4X. Now, Honor 4X lasts easily one day with moderate usage, while that is not the case with the Moto G second gen. You will need to recharge it, say after the evening or before the bedtime. So, in terms of battery, Honor 4X is a much better performer than the Moto G2. Let it test the speakers by turning the phone ringtones on. I'll try a couple of different ringtones. So the volume is set to the maximum, and you can see the sound on Moto G2 is loud enough. So guys, the sound output is quite equivalent on both the phones. It is loud and clear. The sound output of Honor 4X is slightly better, just slightly better than the Moto G at the highest volume. It doesn't tend to crack that much. Now let me show you the OTG, whether both the phones support OTG or not. For that, I need to come to the storage. So let's first see the Moto G offering me around 13 GB of storage. 9.20 GB is available. I've already installed some apps, so that's why it's showing a less amount of space which is available. Now, as you can see, it is giving me the option to the mount USB on the go. Let me put in this USB cable and let's see whether this function actually works or not. So I put in the pen drive and it has directed it instantaneously. It's showing me the total space and the space available. So Moto G2 does support the OTG indeed. Coming to the Honor 4X smartphone, the internal space, it's a 8 GB phone, it's a 16 GB phone, the Moto G2. So obviously I will get less amount of storage, but let's try to mount. It's showing me mount USB storage. To connect the USB, I'll put in the same USB with the same pen drive, and it is not detecting, guys. So I'll be checking whether this is a piece problem or software problem in the full review. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe so that you don't miss out on that video. But I currently on a 4X is not detecting the OTG cable or pen drive to the OTG. So guys, we have covered a lot of ground in terms of design, build, battery, camera, and other stuff in our comparison video today. So I mean, if you want to have a bigger battery, a decent display, a bigger display in fact, and a really cool battery, then go for Honor 4X. It got lots of stuff going for it. The OS is tweaked and it's really nice. You can set different settings each time you wake up the phone. You will get to see a different lock screen wallpaper, or you can set a single wallpaper. It also supports a gesture features, which is another good thing, guys. So even this phone has a lot going for it. If talking about the Moto G second gen, you want a better build quality and a really nice display and the latest software, then go for the Moto G2. However, its battery will not that last long. So hopefully I might have solved your queries and your confusion. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the subscribe button. You can ask me questions regarding any of these phones. Leave your questions in the comment section below. Share the video, subscribe it, like it, stay connected, and have a great day.